What's going on, guys? It's Two Guys, One Podcast coming back at you for a second episode, a second podcast. And this week we wanted to talk about horror films. That's horror, not whores. Horror. We wanted to talk about all kinds of horror films. But first, I wanted to tell everybody a little story about a little boy who was born in 1992, which is 26 years ago, going on 27 close. Almost 30, almost 3 decades, let's say, okay? And in 1996, this young boy found a VHS tape in his parents' closet. I snuck into the room one night. Okay, yeah, the little boy's me. Did I mention that? Okay. Anyway, I snuck into their room one night and I found a VHS tape. The VHS tape was called Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors.
Oh, classic.
If you haven't seen this film, which most horror fans have, if you're not a horror fan, you'll still like it, I promise. It's a very fun film. I saw it on VHS. My mom and dad had the little small TVs. The little, maybe, I think 10-inch.
That had the VCR.
VCR in it. Yes, on the bottom. And I would put it in.
90s, yeah.
Okay. Push rewind when it was over. And I'd watch the Dawkins video. I watched the
Dawkins. Oh.
Dream Warriors, Dawkins.
Cheesy.
Of course. It's okay, though. We all like a little Dawkins in our life from time to time. It's not as corny as Fat Boys, the rap music video for Part 4.
This is true. That
Are
video,
You Ready, Freddy?
that video is actually a joy to watch.
It is fun. If you're not having fun with horror films, don't bother.
Do something else.
That's what they're for. They're for fun. And that was the very first horror film I ever got into, and obviously it drug me into a whirlwind because I had to watch the Hellraisers. I had to watch around this time Pennywise was out. This was the newest thing, was Pennywise and Chucky. 92 was when Child's Play 2 came out. Mm-hmm. And so and there was a movie before it was right before Child's Play 2 came out, right after Child's Play 1. In between that time, there was a movie called Dolly Dearest, and it was about a killer doll. And I don't think a lot of people know about that movie.
I hate the killer doll movies.
Killer doll movies are always iffy.
Absolutely.
Because of the children.
They're always so scary, and then, after you're done watching, it's like more often than not, there is a doll.
There is a doll.
And you're like, fuck you, doll. Yeah. Like,
I just watched Indian in the Cupboard the other night. That was a nice little
Indian in the Cupboard. How unhorror.
But speaking of Child's Play, killer dolls, and all this, this is a good segue into Child's Play 2019, I think.
Saw the trailer. It looks pretty fucking tight.
And we all know Aubrey Plaza's a babe. Don't lie.
Total babe.
Don't lie about it. Okay?
Oh.
She's been around for a minute. I did not know that. She is plays the mother in the film. I thought that was incredible because Catherine Hicks, I think, played the very first mother in the film. I'm very excited for it, but I don't like the whole Don Mancini MGM controversy. That seems to put things in a bit of a
kind of muddies the water. But the trailer is amazing. Summer 2019.
It is directed by Lars Klevberg? Is that how you say that? Klevberg? Yeah, it comes out June 21st is what they're saying, but that could always change. I'm looking at IMDb. Fun fact, and I don't know if anybody can answer this, but Don Mancini on IMDb is under screenwriter and story by. I didn't think he wanted his name involved in this project, so that's kind of weird.
Huh.
That's strange. The teaser trailer dropped last... It was Saturday, or was it Friday? No, it was last Friday. Last Friday morning, the teaser dropped, and we were supposed to do a podcast then, but things fell out, so we're doing it now. It's a late one, and that'll probably happen more often than not for the first few episodes. But we're booking it. We're trying. We're training along.
Punching it out.
I think that it's interesting that the people who did It, the remake to It, are donning Chucky. I think that's cool. Who's next? Freddy? Or is Freddy getting one? Is like
Jason? It's like they're on an agenda. They have an agenda. It's like, okay, we're going to remake the classics, and like we were talking about earlier, like I think there's probably going to be hopefully like brand new Freddy, up to date, and Jason.
Let me tell you something. We're not going to sit here and talk horror without talking about perhaps what isn't on everybody's mind ever since Freddy vs. Jason is a universe with these monsters in it. Would be epic. Of course, with the actors playing the characters, some of them are too old. Some of them don't want to do it anymore. It's sad to watch because when I watched the new Leprechaun, it was okay. I didn't mind it too much, and it was sad to hear Warwick Davis's reasoning. He's just, he's got a kid. He doesn't want to do it anymore. But I would love to see him. I would love to see what that movie could have been with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
They had a guy who played Ozzy in it. I thought that was cool. It was a great movie.
That's cool.
It wasn't a bad movie. It had practical effects and it was a sci-fi film. So what do you expect?
Yeah.
They tried. They tried.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's talk another thing. The Leprechaun Origins, that has anything to do with fucking Leprechaun movies. Stop putting it in the same goddamn box at Walmart.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mother. The WWE does not deny it because they make money off of the original Leprechaun films and horror fans. They milked you guys with that film. I didn't even watch that movie because I knew it had nothing to do with the original Leprechaun. That was their own little way to trick you into fucking money they didn't need. Mm-hmm. So good job. But yeah, that had nothing to do with the Leprechaun films. Sorry, guys. Yep. That's what happens, though. But I don't know, man. There's so many beautiful topics. Child's Play 2019 is a big one. That's a big one right now because the trailer just dropped. 3C Film Production. So there's a YouTube channel, 3C Films, I think, and he is known as the Chucky Boy. He's been on the Chucky. He's a huge Chucky fan, huge horror fan, and he's been on top of the remake.
Really?
He's been on top of it. He's released all the info, all the set leaks. If there's a picture taken on set, he's probably got it.
That's awesome.
He was the first one to report on the trailer. He's how I knew it came out. I saw his video on it.
Wow.
It looks really good. It looks okay. Chucky's a robot now. It's not voodoo. It's not a killer doll. It's AI. Which is appropriate for nowadays. And it looks creepy.
It does look creepy.
The lighting,
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a self-aware doll.
Little kill doll. Because and another thing I believe that I saw in the trailer is they're going to explain a little more about Andy's dad. If you know anything about Child's Play, they never really talk about Andy's dad. There is the deleted scene in Child's Play 1 where Andy's walking Chucky through his room when he first gets him, and he says, "This is a picture of my dad. He died in a car accident. We loved him very much," and then he moves on. They never put that in the movie. They didn't feel the need, and I don't blame them. It really didn't need it. Mm-hmm. But people want details like that anymore, so they may explain this, and I think there was a picture of his dad in the background. They're going to explain Andy's dad. I think Andy has a handicap. Andy has a handy.
Andy has a handy.
He has, it looked like a hearing aid throughout the whole film. And he has a black eye. So it looks like he gets into a fight with Chucky or he's getting bullied. It looks decent. Gabriel Bateman is the guy who's playing Andy. He's the kid who's playing Andy.
Never heard of him before.
Bryant, I like that. I like when they do that because that sets people into a career. Like the only one I've heard of, honestly, if I'm being honest, is Aubrey Plaza. Yeah. And I don't see her playing a mom to a 12-year-old, but it's because I think she's so hot. It's like when you see Jennifer Aniston, you're like, I don't think she's 50.
Yeah.
She ain't 50. What are you, 23?
27, 23, 20.
Yeah, that's please. No. In all seriousness, though, Child's Play looks good, and I think they're trying their hardest to give us horror fans what we want, and I think we need to respect that. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Red Dead in the last episode. We need to respect the fact that they're trying so hard to bring us quality, bang for a buck. That's all we're asking. We'll buy the shit. We've already proved we'll buy the fucking shit.
Already bought it.
Release a good product to buy, is what I say. And I think this movie has a good chance that it can be really good. The cover even looks creepy. The lighting, they got that old school feel to it, and the reds and the blacks and, just the awesome lighting. It's all in the lighting. It's all in the tone of the film. It looks great.
It looks beautiful.
I'm nervous to hear his voice because I'm a huge Brad Dourif fan. Brad Dourif was in movies like, well, of course, Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween. He was in The Exorcist 3, which was one of the most underrated sequels. I thought it was a really good one. But The Exorcist is hard to top. You don't do Exorcist 1, watch that, and then go, I want to see Exorcist 2. No, I'm done with 1.
Yeah.
One scarred me enough.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Yeah, it's violent. It's
Oh,
violent. But it was nonetheless a good movie. I remember that movie was very terrifying as a child.
Man, dude.
It really set me into a spiral.
It really burned a spot in my mind for horror films and whatnot. It was like, oh my gosh. Because up until that point, my story, if I go back to the beginning, I never really watched any horror movies until I was about maybe like 12 or 13. But my grandmother had died, God bless her soul, and she was raising my cousin. And that happened. He came and lived with us, and he had a deep-seated love for horror films, and showed me a lot of them. His most favorite was, of course, Friday the 13th. And yeah. I remember being, it was like 12 or 13, watching Friday the 13th, like just the very first one, and just loving it. I was scared. I'd never seen anything like it. I was totally scared. I was totally like just wigged out by just the symbol and persona that Jason represents. Mm-hmm. And then there's titties, just tons of boobs, dude. I was in heaven and fell in love with it. But it wasn't until Exorcist was when I watched that. Your mother sucks cocks in hell. Like that just, it's always in my.
It's imprinted.
It can't go away.
That movie terrified the shit out of me. It's hard to watch that movie still to this day and go to sleep. Just turn the lights. Watch that movie. Watch it till the credits. It's like the Blair Witch. If you get into it, you might fall asleep in the middle of it. But the Blair Witch, if you can get back in the day when it first came out and you thought the shit was real, if you could get through that movie and then shut off the lights as a kid, that freaked me out. Because the music at the end with the credits,
so
like it's just
scary,
knocking.
Dude. I was so, I was probably preteen when that came out. Went and saw it. My cousin Adam had been living with us. He wanted to see it. Remember, we went to the theaters, saw it. It was me and my dad, my little brother, and my cousin Adam. And we watched that movie in the theaters. It was so freaky. For the first couple weeks, I totally believed it. Until my dad really explained it all,
right, yeah.
They just want people to think is it makes more money. But I was thoroughly scared. I fell in love with the whole, I wanted to find a history with that, get its, genealogy itself. But I remember right after the movie, I'm scared as shit. This is preteen. Just watched this freaky ass movie. We got out of the theater. Of course, it's nighttime. Right. And then we go eat at a fucking Ryan Steakhouse. And I'm just sitting there I'm afraid to go get more food on my plate and shit. Right. I'm just freaking out. And my cousin Adam won't shut the fuck up about it. That would be scared the fuck out of me. I honestly thought it was real. I was young and dumb. Thought that was real. That was actual found footage.
This was what
because my cousin swore to me that it was.
When I was a kid, there was a movie that my cousins were watching. Okay. My cousins were babysitting me, and they were watching a movie, and I'll never forget it for some reason, because I grew up with horror films. I always loved horror films. I loved being scared. I loved, we'll get into it, obviously. But there was one film that terrified me. I remember crying because they were watching it. It was the movie called Uncle Sam. And this guy is on stilts looking through a window.
Oh my God.
At a lady undressing, and I'm watching that, and it scared the shit out of me for some reason. I couldn't handle it, but I'm watching Freddy, spit tongues at this guy and do these insane.
And that was kind of it was kind of a touch of really strange, odd, in actual reality. I was this fucked up dude, and he's actually looking through the window, watching. This is creepy. You felt the creepiness of that.
Mm-hmm. As a kid, I did, because I was like, "What are you doing? Leave her alone!" What the fuck?
So yeah.
It was very creepy, and I'll never forget that, dude. That's weird how that works, because I was so into horror films. Nothing scared me about horror films until I saw Uncle Sam, and watching it as an adult, I feel stupid, and I'm pissed that happened. But it did, and people have stories.
When I can't believe that the Blair Witch Project, the original film, scared me so much as it did. and even The Exorcist, even like but it's when you're younger, you're affected by more things. You're not hardened
Right,
yet.
yeah.
Things can get through, and
Yeah.
when you're older, of course, you're
You're like, I'll punch that motherfucker in the face. He look at me through the
You know-
window with his Uncle Sam weirdness.
People got to earn your trust and whatnot. It's growing
With his
up.
goofy red, white, and blue, pay your taxes due.
I'll jump out that window. I don't care you got stilts on.
It bothered me. I don't know what it was, and I think you're right. It was just the invasion of privacy, and she didn't know he was there. And I was like, I was screaming for them to turn it off. I was like, quit. I don't want to watch it.
Enough.
They hated me for that because they were like, you're fucking annoying. You're in there watching, Freddy Krueger or Jason tack these people up, but you can't handle this guy staring at a naked woman. And I was like, it's different. For some reason in my head, it was, I don't know, it freaked me out.
Yeah.
But it's an all right movie, I guess. I don't know. I don't like it now, but it was a creepy one. I remember that.
Strange.
But yeah, we got a lot of really good horror films coming out, especially from Stephen King's end with Pet Sematary remake. Let me tell you something. As a parent, that's going to be a fucking hard one to watch.
Oh man,
Pet Sematary is always hard to watch. That kid running out in front of that diesel, man. That kid's the cutest kid you can imagine. Little blonde, blue-eyed boy. It's unreal. And of course, that's what the movie's for. Is it's supposed to rattle your cage at the very beginning, so you experience this whole dreaded nightmare. It looks good. I like that John Lithgow plays the old guy across the street. I apologize that I don't know the dude's name. But the original guy was Frankenstein from the Munsters.
Yeah,
The
and
uncle.
he did it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was amazing in that film, yeah. His Achilles tendon got cut by the kid under the bed with the fucking... Oh, my God. And they showed it?
Now my Achilles
Jesus
hurts, dude.
Christ.
Thanks
I
a
can't...
lot.
Yeah, it's bad imagery. Stephen King's he's always a good one to go to. You know what Stephen King movie doesn't get talked about a lot? Is Maximum Overdrive.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Maximum
I've never
Overdrive?
seen Maximum Overdrive.
Well, this is going to have to be an episode later. And this is going to have to... Maximum Overdrive is just Emilio Estevez little horror film, but it's interesting because it's about something in space happens, vehicles get taken over, and vehicles are in control of everything.
Emilio Estevez.
Hey,
in space.
He's taking on. He ain't in space, but he's at a gas station taking on big rigs. Okay, with a shotgun, he's ready. I like Emilio Estevez. I think he should have done
Mighty Duck Man.
The Mighty Duck Man. Emilio! I love Emilio Estevez. I used to like Charlie Sheen until those rumors about him and
Denise
Corey.
Richards.
No, well, I know about all that, but the rumors about him and Corey Haim.
Oh, him
Mm-hmm.
trying to get it on.
He did. Apparently, he did.
With his buttocks area.
I don't want to start rumors or anything because I don't know facts, but I've heard a lot of people bring forth evidence that he's the one that molested Corey Haim.
Corey Haim's poor little bottom.
I don't like that shit going on in Hollywood. It's like Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon, but that's nor here nor there because we're here to talk about fucking horror. I'm not
horror.
Not about the horror, not whores. Horror is cheaper. I want to go back to Dream Warriors too, though, because I got a lot to say about that. I love that film. We talked about the molesting undertones of Wes Craven's original script. Wes Craven was supposed to originally write Dream Warriors. He was supposed to come back after they killed it with the second one. The second one was very homoerotic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people bitch about that.
A lot of man booty.
You know what? It is what it is, man. They were trying to be progressive. Leave them alone.
Guys get slashed up too, y'all. But every scene though that entailed did have a strange sexual hint to it. It really did.
Yeah. That movie. Without that movie, though, you wouldn't have the line "You're all my children now," which is one besides Dream Warriors when he says "Welcome to prime time, bitch." Besides that line, you've got welcome. Well, you got "Welcome to prime time," and you've got "You're all my children now," which was the lighting when he said it was good. That movie had good intention, and what they brought to us was wow.
Yeah.
I don't hate the film. I'll watch it because I watch Dream Child. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
I watch the lowest of the low when it comes to the nightmares and the Friday the 13th, and I'm willing to sit through those films because it's nostalgia. I love them. That's why I love horror films. I don't care how corny they get. I showed up for Freddy versus Jason when I was a kid. When Freddy versus Jason got announced, I didn't believe it because it was such a long time, and I was like, it ain't gonna happen. And my mom called me one day. She's like, Freddy versus Jason. I just saw a trailer for Freddy versus Jason. She was like, it's a 30-second little. It was so quick. It was a teaser. I said, you're a liar. I was like, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as Freddy versus Jason. She's like, no, it's happening. And I was probably 13, something like that. And I finally saw the trailer on TV, and I remember flipping out. My heart started racing. I was like, they're doing it. They're fucking doing it, dude. It was Freddy and Jason. And so in my head, I was excited for Kane Hodder to play Jason, and I was excited for Robert Englund to play Freddy. I said, they're finally going to fight. This is going to be epic. And they replaced Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder's no longer Jason. Freddy versus Jason.
Why is that? Is there a reason or? They
always said that the director, who is the same director of Ronnie Yu, who's the same director of Bride of Chucky. After he did Bride of Chucky for New Line Cinema, New Line was like, you could do Freddy versus Jason, you know? He was honest with him and told him he didn't. I don't like them. I like, you know, he likes Frankenstein. He likes the werewolf. He likes the old school films. You know, he used to watch them in Hong Kong, you know? And they got him because he's Asian, because they thought he could bring that, Hong Kong style. I'm like, that's kind of fucking racist, but it worked because they fought. You watch Freddy vs. Jason, it looks like Bruce Lee and Chuck going at it. I'm telling you, you know, that's the only thing Freddy vs. Jason brought to the table that was beautiful. Was we finally got to see him slash each other up. That's all we wanted. Just throw the fucking glove at him, throw the machete at his fucking head. Freddy fought his ass off, dude. That's what I loved. As a Freddy fan, I was like, kick his big fucking dumb ass. Because I'm rooting for Freddy. You know, it's a fight, so I'm like, I'm going for the bad guy. I'm sorry, you know, I'm going for the bad guy. I want Freddy to win, dude. For some reason, I always thought Freddy was the coolest shit. And it's because in part 4, Remy, I forget his last name. I'll look it up right now because I'm not doing that tonight. His first name is Remy. He's a Finnish guy. And he was homeless when they found him to do part 4. Now you got to think part 4 was right after part 3. Part 3 did great, but part 4 did the best because it was following one of the greatest horror films of all time, which is Dream Warriors. Because I'm telling you, you can't say enough about that film. As far as Chuck Russell, the director of Dream Warriors, ladies and gentlemen, also went on to do The Mask with Jim Carrey. If that tells you anything, like, this is a really creative guy. And I think he's a hard worker, too. I've heard that anyway. But let's look it up here. It's Dream Master. But his name's Remy, and he's a Finnish guy. He was homeless when they found him. He said, I really want to do it. I'm a fan. I really want to do it. So they let him do it, and that is what became part 4. They literally scrummaged to make it. Very upsetting because it's the highest grossing. And, you know, and one thing is, I love the arts. I love the original arts they used to have with these because they kind of did not match the movie at all. On Dream Warriors, you've got a guy with a fucking mace. You know, there's no guy with a fucking mace. This is right here, okay? Rennie Harlan, it was his fucking name, and he was a Finnish guy. Hats off to him because he did work his ass off. He only, I think before that, he did a movie called Prison with Kane Hodder. And then he went on to do A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. This is what, I think as a kid, when you see this shit as a kid, you're looking at it like... Rennie Harlan says when he was making Dream Warriors... not Jesus Christ, Dream Warriors. Dream Master. When he was making Dream Master, he wanted Freddy Krueger to feel like James Bond. He wanted Freddy Krueger to be the cool guy. We're getting out of the child molester, the darkness of Freddy, and stepping into the light of what it really is. People root for this guy. We're going to make him, you know, likable.
Makes sense.
So they throw some shades on him, make him look cool. And as a kid, I'm looking at Freddy like, that's my fucking hero. That's twisted. That is fucked up. Kids are dressing as Freddy. It's like, did you know he's a child murderer? He's my hero.
Pedo.
No, he's a
trick or treat.
He's a weirdo. He's a fucking psycho. And that's the who I was looking up to was the Freddys, the Jasons. Not so much Leprechaun or Chucky, obviously, because they're down there. But but you know, for some reason, and that's, you know, that's why I don't like when people say that horror movies cause people to be violent. You know, because I think that it's a good way for people to vent. I can go watch people get murdered after a hard day at work and be satisfied. But if I'm really a psycho, I'm gonna go want to do it. It doesn't matter if the horror film was watched or not.
Right.
I already had that feeling. I'm bipolar, so I get mental health issues and shit. And by the way, if you have a mental health issue, please seek help for that. It's not good for you at all, mentally or physically. If you're able to take care of yourself, do so, because your family needs you, your kids need you, whoever. Even if you tell me right now I have nobody out there, there's somebody out there that cares about you, dude. I promise. Okay, but that's again nor here nor there.
Right.
We're here for horror.
Horror.
So let's start off. Listen, Let's start off. We've been going for 30 minutes now. Let's start off. What was your favorite horror film growing up as a kid?
Favorite horror film? I guess the one that captivated me the most and set the bar had to have been fucking The Exorcist.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got everything. It's weird. It's super fucked up. In the whole, but it's a hard toss up because I did grow up loving Chucky and Freddy and Jason and whatnot. Like,
right.
I remember when Freddy versus Jason came out. Like, I was biased on either one because I enjoyed both those movies. For me, it was
Don't get me wrong. I loved Jason just as much. But I wanted Freddy.
Yeah, I
to
was
win.
like, I wonder who is gonna win.
Right.
Like
I rooted for Freddy, but I didn't. If Jason would have won, which kind of is what happened, I was fine to walk away like that because I was like, I like them both, but Freddy's a dude. Like, I've been sticking with Freddy since I was a baby. You got to think, like I said, I was in diapers. I was in diapers, like, oh shit. Like, I didn't. In my head, he wasn't murdering. It was just a really cool effects.
Right.
Movie. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've never seen it like violence. I don't look at it and go, oh god, like.
Okay, it's like, wow, I can't believe I'm watching. Like look at all these effects and like look at this movie. Like it's amazing.
It's a beautiful movie. It's artistic in a way. The most artistic film I've ever seen was Hellraiser.
Love Hellraiser.
Hellraiser was a beautifully shot film.
It really is, and a lot of times, like when you say Hellraiser to people, they don't realize that that's the same movie with Pinhead.
Pinhead's
everyone now I say it. Everyone out there is imagining Pinhead because everyone's seen him. It's so iconic. And it's, I noticed that that was that's how it went.
Did you see Hellraiser Judgment? It was the latest in 2018 to come out.
I have not seen the new. No.
Nobody gave it a chance. I got upset because I was like, man, I'm a huge Hellraiser fan. I'm waiting for that one film to match the first two at least. Just match that, what it was. And Judgment has been the closest, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Because there is a lot of Hellraisers out there. I like Inferno. Inferno was okay, and Inferno gets hated on. But Inferno was a really good cop detective kind of story. It was okay. It wasn't bad. They're trying. And I think that Judgment was a really good attempt. I like... it was a twisted film, but I like the guy who played Pinhead. He did a really good job.
Loved it.
It didn't look like a goofy Pinhead. It was fucking Pinhead.
It was legit. It was like, fuck, this, like, it was not stupid, silly, or kiddish. Like, I thought it was awesome. Like, I've always loved that iconic Pinhead.
Yeah. Doug Bradley's amazing, man. The first Hellraiser is a beautiful movie. If you've never seen Hellraiser,
please do. Please go
take the
rent
time.
a copy. It is available. Check that out.
You will thank me. You have to get through the first part because, like any older movie, nobody really... Most people don't have the time to sit down and watch a movie. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? I've tried to make the time to make a specific... When I come home, I want to watch one film and just relax with my family. We watched Indian in the Cupboard, like I said. When they get older, I'm going to watch, Return of the Living Dead or some shit. I'm going to pop in something really goofy but cool. I want to get them into horror because I think my kids would like horror. I think any kid would like horror. You could introduce your kid with horror for like, you could do Goosebumps. You could do, I don't think Are You Afraid of the Dark is a kid's show. That was an older adult show, I think.
I can't believe you even said that, dude. Are You Afraid of the Dark, dude? It has been so long since I've seen any of those shows. Like, I remember those old shows. Those old shows. Yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Oh, Pete and Pete, yeah. God, that show got weird.
Doug. You remember Doug?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking...
Oh God, we could go all
Hey
day.
Arnold.
Yeah.
Rugrats began in that time.
Hey Arnold got a movie not long ago.
Really?
I think, yeah, a recent movie. They finished out the story from the cartoon that the cartoon left off because the creator wanted to finish the. That's okay. That's off topic, but still, it's Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold. Hey Arnold.
Fun fact:
Anyway.
Seth MacFarlane worked on Johnny Bravo, and take that to the fucking bank with you. Yeah. Hey, mama.
Hey, pretty mama.
Yeah, they, back to my point though. I mean, they made Freddy the cool guy, and I think that's why
cool.
They eventually turned it to, because Wes Craven's script for Dream Warriors was supposed to be some kind of like he was a child molester.
Yeah.
He has the line if you remember the Kincaid character, the really strong, big buff guy that just has a problem with everybody. He's the cliche tough guy. Yeah. Freddy has a line to him that says, "Your asshole is mine." And it's yeah, Wes Craven, rest in peace. God rest his soul. I love Wes Craven to death, but he made some really weird fucking movies sometimes. Okay?
I mean,
Last House on the Left. Explain yourself.
Yeah.
Your asshole's mine. What a fuck line. What kind of your asshole's mine, Kincaid. Come here. He's got his glove, Bitch.
I'm gonna cut it out.
I don't know. Anyway, that was always my favorite, but I fell in love with like Leprechaun. Leprechauns are such fun movies. If you can get a chance to watch all the Leprechauns.
The original Leprechaun, that movie was the first movie that Jennifer Aniston ever appeared in.
Yeah, absolutely. In case you didn't know that. Hold on, we're gonna take a break real quick. We're back. Sorry about that. I've got some personal family stuff going on, but it's all good, and we're taking care of it. Back to horror. I think I'm just gonna start fresh with something.
Horror.
I know we were talking about Leprechaun before we took a break, and gosh, there was something. Rumpelstiltskin. Have you ever seen Rumpelstiltskin?
I saw a preview when it came out, and I had to, at that time, I was like, ugh, I didn't even, it didn't pique my interest.
He steals the fucking baby. Like, that's the whole point of the movie. He's coming for your fucking baby.
You know that I don't like all the movies with the babies, man. Just like,
it's gonna happen because that's how they. Been like that. That's why it's. I'm not gonna personally go see.
That's why I wouldn't go.
Pet Cemetery in theaters because I'm like I don't want to cry in front of people.
I watched Pet Cemetery one fucking time, and when that semi, I turned it off.
And then you just
I already knew.
Shoes rolling in the road.
I've actually never seen the scene where the little boy. I'm either before or after. I'm missing about 15 minutes of that movie in my mind forevermore because I won't do it.
Right? Yeah, I understand that. I mean,
and that's the reason why I won't watch that Rob Zombie movie. They put it right at the beginning. I was just like, nope, I'm out of here. Like the time my aunt took me to go see the South Park movie when it first came out. She got to Uncle Fucker and she left. I became her that day.
I forgot about Uncle Fucker.
It was right at the beginning of the movie. Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker. And then she leans over. I'll be in the car.
This is it right here. This was the same guy who made this film, made Leprechaun. It's a lot like Leprechaun, but it's just a little guy trying to steal your baby. It's the same concept.
What's his purpose? Why does he want this baby so bad? What will it gain him? Or does he just want a child?
This never explained it, I don't think. Now that I'm thinking about it, he's like, I just want the baby Johnny.
Nobody really asked him why, but
this is him with the baby right here. And I'll see if I can't put a picture in there, guys, so you know what we're looking at right now. It's creepy.
Rumpelstiltskin holding the baby, and the baby is obviously agitated.
Look at that, though. That poor baby. That poor baby had to film like that.
I couldn't imagine.
And then you got, the little Shrek Rumpelstiltskin. That guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna
sign it.
I'm a fucking ball player. That's what it.
Yeah, I'm fucking walking here. My favorite, I don't know. If I were to look at a wide range about how I feel about horror movies in general and say, okay, I have to pick something other than Dream Warriors to be my favorite, it would probably be Phantasm or Hellraiser. Because those are very elaborate
Mm-hmm.
stories that have a lot of depth to them. Like Phantasm, for instance. Phantasm had the same characters except for Michael, the main character. I'm a huge Phantasm nerd. When Ravager came out, Ravager is part 5. This came out in
Ravager.
like 20. Oh, God. Now we gotta Bing it. We're gonna have to Bing it, folks.
Dang it!
I should know these goddamn things, but it's so much up in my head right now. Let's do Phantasm. Anyway, there's 5 of these films. You haven't seen Phantasm, have you?
No, never.
No. It's
Never
one.
visited the Phantasm.
Look, Reggie the Ice Cream Man is the best character from a horror film next to Ash Williams from Evil Dead.
Really? That's really a lot to say.
That's a lot to say. Reggie
Dude,
Bannister is a
like-
bad motherfucker. I don't care what
Like
anybody.
Ash and the Evil Dead, dude, that's fucking iconic. Dude.
Yes, I agree.
That's down with the Hall of Famers.
2016. 2016 was when Phantasm Ravager came out. It's the 5th one.
Ravager.
They made it before Angus Scrimm died. If you guys haven't seen the Phantasm series, please give it a chance, man. Because listen, by the 4th one, the 3rd one got iffy. I'm not gonna lie.
What's the Phantasm like? Why is he phantasming?
Why is he phantasming? Everybody's phantasming and kung fu fighting. Okay, listen. This is a movie that a certain Don Carcerelli, I think. I always say that name wrong. He made these movies, and the first Phantasm is so hard to explain. The tall man is running through cemeteries and just stealing the bodies, I believe, and then making little minion people out of them. Now, you can check me if you want, because I haven't seen Phantasm in forever now.
Little minion people?
Little minion people. They're just little hooded, like, meh,
For
like,
what purpose? Just to go, meh.
just to pop around a corner and meh at you. They're phantasm.
Scare your cat and shit.
They're phantasming on your fucking cat. And it's...
All over his face.
And seriously though, Phantasm, by the 4th one, the 3rd one got iffy. By the 4th one, I was literally like applauding, because I knew it was the last film, and the way it ended was, and this is gonna, spoiler alert, okay, if you haven't seen the
It's
films,
okay.
but the Michael is the main character. He's a kid in the first one, and he grows up through 2, 3, and then by 4 he's a grown man. And Reggie, and they've been chasing the tall man, but by the 3rd one they have to separate. So in the 4th one they're separated and they're doing things. Well, at the end, long story short, it gripped me because I followed their story all the way through. It was the same characters, except for Michael. Michael switched once, I think, and then switched back. But as far as actors go that played him. But at the end, the tall man finally gets Michael, and he gets a sphere, a glowing, like galvanized sphere out of his head, pops out, and he takes it with him and goes into the other realm. And Reggie runs up with his homemade shotgun that he made, and he's like crying,
Damn.
And he looks at him. He says, "I'm gonna get you back." And he runs after the tall man. He's like, I'm going for him. I'm gonna go get him. And it's so epic because if you watch these films, you're like, you're gripped to the story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a nerd, guys. Let's just face it. Because if you're getting emotional over Phantasm, there's a deal. I'm phantasming over Phantasm, but it did get emotional to where he's like, I'm gonna go get him. And I was applauding. I was like, oh my god, they can't end it here. That's why 5 came out in 2016.
Oh.
And when this came out, it ended it all. It was the same characters. Reggie Bannister came back. The guy who played Michael came back, which I'm pretty sure his name is Michael. They use their real names, their real first names. But the 5th film ended it all. I liked the way it ended. But if I remember correctly, they were trying to end it as if they could do a next one, and it just didn't happen because the tall man, Angus Scrimm, died. The movies do. If you're not a horror fan, man, they're gonna lose you. Okay, because you got to be a nerd to enjoy this stuff. But Phantasm's
you
one
haven't even
of
really
the
told
underrated.
me like what those minions he created
But
actually do.
Look,
What do they do?
a couple of them are the kids' parents, I think. Michael and his brother are his brother's a character too. It's so hard. I could read you the description, but it still will not explain the story of Phantasm. It's
I'll
one of those
just have to
films
watch
me
it.
and you are going to
Just
have to kick
watch
it.
Yeah,
We're going to
just
kick it,
check it out.
pop some tops.
Do some phantasm all over each other.
We better not phantasm over anybody. I'm married.
Nothing. Yeah.
But
just don't make eye contact.
we do.
With me.
Well, as long as you don't fall in love, it's not gay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now look at this. Check this out.
Ew, dude.
Okay. We talked about Phantasm, and you know, if you haven't seen those movies, go watch them because they're nerdy horror film movies. They're the ones that are you've got to like. There's a little minion right there. I'll show you guys a picture of that. But yeah, Phantasm's definitely. There's Reggie Bannister. You know, I can't get into this because I'll end up having to edit photos and the whole goddamn thing, but I will because I love you guys, and I think this needs to work like that.
Oh.
Well, you should be able to have visuals with your podcast.
Hell's yeah.
That's what we're gonna do. But yeah, Phantasm's a great movie, and I wanted to talk about my favorite zombie film. We're gonna have several episodes because I'm not gonna be able to just rant about all these films in 1 hour-long podcast. It's not gonna happen. So we're gonna have several films, just talking about our favorite horror film episodes. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus. You would think I'm on drugs right now. Just tired, folks. It's been a long weekend. The Return of the Living Dead is one of my favorite zombie films of all time. Have you ever seen Return of the Living Dead?
I have.
Okay. I like it because it's goofy, but it's also like it's got that nostalgia of the 80s horror, horror. I hate that fucking word. It's so hard to say, but it's not
I did
at all.
enjoy it. It was goofy, fun to watch.
Yeah, and
It was really good.
Gosh, what is her name? Let me see. The lady who gets completely butt naked in it is in Night of the Demons as well. Linnea Quigley.
Linnea
Quigley.
Linnea?
I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Why do they all have such fucked up names? One of the main characters, okay, this Clu Gallagher, that he was in the homoerotic Nightmare on Elm Street 2. He was the dad.
Oh.
He was Jesse's dad. That's always an interesting fact. I think that's what drew me to Return of the Living Dead was like, oh, when I was a kid, I was like, I know that guy. And I hated zombie films. Return of the Living Dead was so different. You know what I mean? I liked Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead. I liked it.
I like that. I mean, it was...
1990, speaking of that, Tom Savini, the man who created Jason, the original Jason.
Oh, wow.
And the effects master, Tom Savini, he directed Night of the Living Dead remake with Tony Todd being the black main character. Did you know this? If you're a horror fan, you have to check that film out. He redid it, and it's a remake.
I did not
It's
know.
wonderfully done. It's frame for frame, but in color and in the 90s. Wonderfully done. Bill Moseley's at the beginning. He's the one who says, "They're coming to get you, Barbara." He's playing the brother. Bill Moseley. You understand what I'm saying? That's another series. Okay, I hate to get away from Return of the Living Dead, but I could rant about these movies all fucking night. I wanted to certainly talk about Bill Moseley. I wanted to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, that's one of the things I get hyped over, and all of them. Because they all get... And here's the thing, man. They all get the heat from critics, but I think the one that gets the worst heat, that's the best one out of the older ones, is the third one. Leatherface. I felt like that was the first one where they made Leatherface a brute. Like an actual, big lumberjack, monster, instead of this, lipstick and wig. Not that there's anything wrong with that, he was still Leatherface. Yeah. But this one was the one that kind of set up the remake, I feel like. If you go back and watch it, he wasn't a crossdresser, he was just a guy with a leather face. Yeah,
he had a leather sack over his head. He didn't in the very first one, he did not have he didn't. Was he making a face in the very first one? I don't know. All he wore was a sack, and the eye hole was.
That was Jason.
It was Jason.
That was Jason.
Am I confusing it?
Yes, sir.
No,
that's Friday the 13th.
But Leatherface also wore a sack on his face.
I think in the remake he did, because when he's making his mask in the beginning, I think they hinted that as he grew up he did. Because I know what you're talking about. Because I think there's a picture during the credits of the beginning. Because the beginning is on Netflix, folks. If you haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning, it is the prequel to the remake in 2003 with Jessica Biel. It's actually a really good movie. Both those movies are wonderful. Wonderful horror films. The main character who played Leatherface, though, in that film, he disrespected the fuck out of Gunnar Henson, the original Leatherface. He disrespected it. He's like, fuck that guy. I read an interview where he was just like a dick about it. Like, they were like, oh, Gunnar Henson died, and he's like, he just says something smart ass.
What a dick.
Yeah, and I'm like, why, dude?
What a
The
dick.
horror fans are so accepting. Like, if you look at Juggalos and you look at horror fans, it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, horror fans love each other. If you find somebody who can talk horror with you, if you're a nerd like me, I get stoked. I can talk about it for days. Hence why this is one of the episodes.
There you go.
I love it. I love it to death. The third one, Leatherface, was a wonderful horror film. Doesn't get a lot of credit. The fourth one, I'm in love with the fourth one because it has the Illuminati in it. I love that. I was like, I don't know why. I was
It's
like,
got the Illuminati.
it has
in
the fucking Illuminati in it.
How does the Illuminati get intertwined?
Listen. The story of 4 is got Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger. Now, they were going to release this film, but didn't at a certain time because their careers were about to launch, and they were like, no, this film's embarrassing, right? So they had to wait until something like this. They waited a while to put their faces on the cover so people would go see it because they were getting big, But it was one of those movies they didn't want released because it was like kind of shameful. I'm glad they released it because Matthew McConaughey's a beast in that movie. He's fucking awesome in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. The new beginning? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. The Next Generation. The New Beginning. That's Friday the 13th. God damn it. Jason's everywhere. There's 12 of those fucking movies, man.
Oh my god.
God damn. Okay, anyway, yeah.
Movies.
It's not Jason, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
And the fourth one was great. The fourth one was, he was a cross-dresser. Leatherface was a weird, cross-dressing, whatever. The scariest one was, Matthew McConaughey. I felt he was crazy in that movie. He had like a fucking mechanical leg with a remote to it. What? They're torturing Renee Zellweger like they've killed, their friends and stuff. And she's just at the table. They're torturing her. And they get a knock on the door. This is close to the end. And this guy in a suit walks in. He says, "What's going on here?" And in the movie, you think, "Fucking what? Like, is there help? Is this person going to help her?" Because he goes over to her. He's like, "What are we doing? What are you guys doing?" And then he looks at him. He's like, "You're not scaring her enough. I want them to be fucking terrified. I want them to know who we are." So he like licks her face and opens his shirt, and there's like piercings and weird. His chest is weird. Mm-hmm. It's an Illuminati reference. He's like they were trying to say that this murderous family works for the Illuminati. Very weird, twisted. People may not like that. I thought it was interesting little scoop. I was like, fuck it, do it. You cross-dress the motherfucker, do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I love Leatherface. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love Leatherface. What a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
I love
definitely.
I love me some Leatherface. Oh God. I don't know. Those movies are great. They're gory. Certainly the remakes. Jesus Christ, that shot where she shoots herself in the back of the truck and the camera follows through her head out the bullet hole.
Wow.
In the back of the window, like amazing shots right there. Wonderfully done movies. Remakes can be done right, just like this Child's Play remake we're talking about. That could be done right.
Oh yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street had potential, but didn't go there. So, that's upsetting. But it's not a bad film. If you go back and watch it, it was all right. It was just bad writing.
Yeah.
Bad Ham Preschool is what it was called. Bad Ham Preschool. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not 12. I'm a grown fuck man. Do you know how old the fans of Nightmare on Elm Street are? Don't play with us like that. Bad Ham. Fuck you. That's supposed to be some cute, maybe even like Dream Warriors reference because there's a pig on the table that barks. That's another thing that was great about that film. Chuck Russell had this idea where when Patricia Arquette walks into the house when she's dreaming at the very beginning of the movie, she's walking through the house, she's in the kitchen, and they show the shot of a rotting pig on the table with all this stuff set up. And in the original shot, she just keeps walking. They show it, she looks at it, she's like, ugh, and walks off. Chuck Russell's like, we need a cheap scare right here. He's like, I want the pig to bark at her. And people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, I want the pig to jump up and bark. So they fucking got under the table, this nasty, real, rotting pig. Nasty motherfucker. They got under it, put their hand, puppeted it through the table and barked at her. And then made the sound. And she like jumps. One of the coolest and most inefficient scenes I've ever seen.
Wow.
It was an amazing feat. That scene always got me as a kid. I was like, I just loved it. Something about it. I was like, that's clever as fuck, dude.
Tricky dick.
That was the Chuck Russell gold that should have been on the fourth one and just wasn't.
Definitely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you look at Chuck Russell's film list, fuck, we can do that real quick. Chuck Russell's amazing. He's done some really good stuff. And he's a hard worker, man. They have stories on Dream Warriors where they were fighting a lot because it was hot. They were tired, and they're like, I believe one of the producers asked him, you know, what is your definition of a director, Chuck? And he said, the director is the last man standing. And he said, well, that's pretty accurate. Because he worked their asses off for this film. He worked them hard to get the film done. And look at what came out of it.
Yeah.
It came out. You know, that was the
Amazing.
best film in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. In my opinion, people can argue all the time about... I get arguments for the seventh one. The seventh one is a really liked one, and I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get that. Because the seventh one is Wes Craven again. So people are like, you know,
Yeah.
7 was epic. I'm like, yeah, but that's more like a demon possessing the spirit of Freddy. Like, it's not... That wasn't Freddy to me. That was a spirit possessing somewhat of what Freddy entitled himself, basically.
Right.
He came into existence through our thoughts. Like the movies, like here's Fear. The fear of Freddy brought him through the world, you know.
Right.
Chuck Russell. Let's look
Brought
at
him
this.
alive.
Let's look at this. Obviously, he's got Dream Warriors, The Blob, the remake to The Blob, I Am Wrath with John Travolta. Weird. The Mask, obviously, Eraser. Wow, look at that. He's got up and coming movies. What? No way. The Scorpion King. Wow. So he's really like been busy.
Oh yeah.
Directing decent movies from what I know. How can I not go over? How fucking rude. I can't go over to look. Girls Just Want to Have Fun is one of them. That's nice. Space Ghost Coast. What? Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
That's what I'm talking about.
What? Fuck yeah, Chuck Russell. Bless the Child. I've never heard that, but that looks alright. Kim Basinger is in there. Dreamscape.
I remember the
God.
preview for that, and it was one of those that had that original like movie man voice guy. Like,
Yeah.
Bless the Child in theaters Friday. Like, I remember that shit.
Those trailers were always so funny. They still are, too. They try to make everything so fucking intense. Certain trailers can get you going, though. I'm telling you right now that the Child's Play trailer, I'm going to play in this video.
It's pretty awesome. I don't know how I feel that it's like we were saying, like it's a robot, but you know, AI can be scary as shit too.
They took away the need for a voice actor because now his voice can be super creepy and robotic.
Mm-hmm.
They say that you can hear Chucky's voice in the trailer. If you have to have headphones on. I looked at it and I was like, I don't know about all that. You're reaching. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's the 3C, like I said, 3C films. He's the Chucky boy, you know. He's the YouTuber that does the most Chucky, you know. He's keeping up with the remake.
Yeah.
And that's how I've gotten my news from it. And he swears up and down that Andy has a disability and Chucky's voice can be heard. I don't know why I threw that in there with that.
Oh.
Andy has a disability and this totally off-topic situation. Fuck it. Whatever. Kratom, weed, get it.
Get it?
I don't know. I could sit and talk about horror all fucking day. God, I don't even know what we haven't covered. But there's a lot. I can tell you right now, I am so sick and tired of the paranormal movies. The Conjuring, The Nun,
It's all just ghosts
Annabelle.
nowadays.
I don't give a fuck. Stop with the ghosts.
That's the new monster, ghosts. And then the other part of the appetite that isn't, you know, quenched is like creepy pastas.
Creepypastas are creepy.
Slender
give 'em
Man and
Have you seen the Momo?
Momo,
Good
yeah.
God, the Momo. I'm gonna pop up a Momo.
That
Momo checkpoint.
Momo.
We're gonna see a Momo. You guys are probably already looking at it because I probably put it up already. I'll keep it up. It is a Momo. That is a scary fucking thing right there, isn't it? Is it fucking not? I'm just playing.
Momo.
You guys can see it. He can't. This Momondo. Anyway, the Momo is a creepypasta type thing. Ding. Jesus
Ding.
Christ, I am not on my ball today, guys. I am sorry about that. A lot going on this weekend. I apologize. But we're still making this happen, boys. The boys are back in town. Look at this is the Momo. This is the fucking Momo. I'll finally show loud.
Fuck me.
Yeah, that's the Momo.
That's
Isn't that disturbing? That's just like that's a Beetlejuice character looking motherfucker.
like fuck that.
I don't like Jeff the Killer. I don't like the Momo.
Don't like the killer.
I don't like the weird people who stare into cameras on live chats. I don't go into live chats. I've seen YouTube videos of people that do and find the Momo staring at them, or, you know, even somebody could be in a Power Ranger outfit staring at you and it's creepy. Just staring. Like, wave, hi, hello. I like going on YouTube and looking up deep web stories, dark web stories. That's always haunting as fuck. Videos you're not allowed to see, things like that. I like forbidden. I like forbidden. I don't know what it is,
Right.
I'm a normal guy. I just like to dwell into the darkness because I like being afraid. But when it comes to my kids, I fucking hate it. I don't want to be afraid when it comes to my kids.
Definitely.
I can be afraid when it comes to fucking, I hope there's nothing under my bed. Not that I'm a grown man looking in my closet or under my bed. I'm just saying, okay, I did.
Right.
I did one night. The shirt moved and I didn't know. It was my baby.
Sometimes you gotta check it out,
It was my kid. Hi, Dad. But, yeah, I don't know what else. Is there anything you would like to talk about as far as horror goes? I've chatted this whole fucking time, and Lau.
Oh no, bro.
Lau has barely.
I'm still on the disliking this paranormal craze. It's always just it's the new thing is ghosts now and creepypastas. And I do
creepypastas work, but the ghost movies are getting old, dude.
Yeah, which is why I'm really liking that there are production companies out there that are making movies like Chucky that's coming out.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Like, I want more of that.
We want the monster back, man. I don't think they understand that per se. That's what sold so much movies back then. That's what created so much nostalgia was the monster. You gave us back in the day. Let's go through kind of a history of horror. You've got the 30s, 40s, 50s that were just black and white pictures. Bela Lugosi, Karl Borloff doing Frankenstein and Dracula and Wolfman, and you've got those were great films for the time. Absolutely artistic. I like watching old black and white films from time to time.
They're the reason why we have like the horror films that we do have today.
They homage so much
old stories and stuff that were brought over from Europe and then Americanized.
But by the 60s and 70s, like you just said, Americanized. By the 60s and 70s is when it got violent, bloody, rapey, gory, naked. We want just naked, getting chopped up. I don't know why. And we've discussed this before. I think it was Vietnam, man. It's because we saw everything from Vietnam. It was so violent. That we didn't give a fuck. We saw it in our living room TV while we're having dinner. What the fuck is it? Somebody getting their head chopped off now?
Yeah.
Halloween came out, which was a wonderful movie. Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out. Not in that order, of course. Halloween was later in 1979. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was 1973, 1974. But, and that's insane to think that 73 and 74, or even the 60s was Psycho. Psycho really started it all with the whole you can kind of show some things now. All of a sudden, you're seeing the blood swirl down, and you're like, oh shit, we haven't seen that before.
Shit.
We don't get to see blood. This is black and white picture. Calm down. That's Hershey's syrup.
Yeah, that's Hershey's syrup.
But yeah, I don't know. I love the old stuff. I love the grindhouse stuff. New horror is yet to impress me too much. I like the It remake. It was pretty good. Loved Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. Obviously, that was a fucking choice.
I did love it.
Choice to play that character.
That was a good fucking Pennywise.
And oh my gosh, speaking of Pennywise, folks, I don't know if you've seen Tim Curry lately. Have
No.
you seen Tim Curry lately?
No.
He's had strokes. I did
Fuck
not
is
know
Tim
this.
Curry. Whoa, Tim Curry's having a hard time.
I saw a video of him, and he's doing decent for somebody who's had strokes, but you
How
can
old
tell
is
he's
Tim
had strokes.
Curry now? How old is he?
I think he's in his 70s.
Fuck.
I think he's 70.
I'm thinking.
You know
of,
what? Why have Bing up
Dr.
if you're not going to Bing
Frankenfurter.
it? Why, Dr. Frankenfurter?
Yeah, dude.
I just wasn't a big
Rocky Horror
Rocky
Picture
Horror Picture Show
Huh?
fan.
It was never my all-time favorite. I don't really like musicals. I'm not a musical liking. I mean, I love music.
I liked
But-
Sweeney Todd.
Maybe
I
so.
barely got through it, but I liked Sweeney Todd. It was
Fucking
interesting.
Johnny Depp. God damn.
Tim Burton and Johnny Depp kill it every time, though. What the fuck? Except for Alice in Wonderland. Fuck Alice in Wonderland.
Except for Alice in Wonderland and Sweeney Todd. I hate Sweeney Todd, bro. I like the story, of the butcher and he knows a chick who runs the meat store, and
Right.
they work out a pot in a ship and feed the townsfolk themselves, and I dig it. But the Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, I love them, amazing actors, amazing, love them and everything they're in. But Sweeney Todd, I was like, damn it.
Tim Curry is 72 years old.
Mm.
Wow. That's amazing. He's still alive, though. That's great.
There's rocks that are younger.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Legend, It, obviously. Scary Movie 2. You can't forget Scary Movie 2.
Dude.
Oh, he was such a
With
creep. He was such a creep.
The dude, he had sex with the turkey.
The fingers guy? The hand guy?
The weird little hand guy.
Raise your hand!
he just picks up the turkey and puts it on, and he's like, can you do it like this? And I don't know what this little thing is, but you touch that.
Oh,
And then he slaps it back down on the platter.
Watch my fanny. Oh, God. The first two Scary Movies were really good spoofs. And then Shriek was odd because I liked Scary Movie so much that Shriek didn't make sense why they did that. That was a stupid movie, I thought.
Never saw it.
Don't. It's got Tom Arnold in it, if that tells anybody anything.
Yeah, I'm never going to see it.
Tom
ever.
Arnold's a fucking kind of dicky guy, from what I know. But what do I know? I'm just a fucking halftime podcaster, whatever.
There you go.
Halftime rapper, halftime podcaster, / entrepreneur, / cartoon maker. That's not going to happen anymore. Yeah, 72 years old. Oh.
Wow.
Tim Curry's a good dude, though. He did a meet and greet online. That's the video I saw, and he did not look good, but
Yeah.
he looked as good as he can for having a stroke. He was actually talking. He could move his head a little bit. It's cool that he's still dedicated to the fans
It's true.
so much
That's
that he's had a stroke and he's still coming out. Like, I still want to talk to you people.
I will miss him if he does die. Fucking, I remember when he was on the Home Alone.
Home Alone, New York.
And there's
the
that
second one?
Lost in New
Yeah.
York, and he's in that iconic scene.
Rob
where,
Schneider's in that too.
where he's like, oh, your son's lost in the one of the biggest cities in the world, and she just slaps him across the face, and he's like, do bundle up, it's cold outside.
Dude, but
Curry, I was like, God damn you, Tim Curry, you tickled me in the middle of the program.
he's a funny guy.
I love him.
He's a wonderful actor. He's one of those guys you like seeing and stuff. Paul Giamatti's one of those guys. I like seeing Paul Giamatti
Good
and
actors,
everything.
just
Yeah.
people that just know how to act
Mhm.
really fucking well.
The ones that pop up. We were just talking about Dick Miller last week.
Yeah.
Dick Miller was a good one. A good example. Just actors that pop up out of nowhere and do really good jobs. Chris, what's his name? Oh, God damn it. The guy from Jurassic Park.
Chris who?
I'm thinking his name's Chris.
What are you talking about?
The
Describe what he looks like to me.
Oh, God damn it. Now everybody's going to get mad at me. Let's-
so
Jurassic
he's
World.
not Sam Neill, and then he's not the chick.
The new Jurassic World.
Oh, the new Jurassic World. The
Wait.
new one.
Hmm. People are going to get so mad. They're going to be like, dude, they're going to be screaming the name. Yeah. Hold on. Let me tell you
Chris
something.
Pratt?
Chris Pratt. They're going to be screaming that fucking
Chris
name and be like,
fucking
you
Pratt.
stupid motherfucker. I'm not a big fan of Chris Pratt since he stopped doing comedy, honestly. If I can be honest. I think Tom Hardy would beat his ass.
I think so too, but dude, he's still. I loved him in that movie, Passengers.
Yeah, Tom Hardy beat his ass.
Dude, what is it with Tom Hardy? Travis just has a hard on for.
Tom Hardy is the best actor of our generation, sir.
There's a lot of people who would beg to differ.
He's kind of selling out doing stuff like Venom, but I think if you go back and watch Legend, if you watch The Dark Knight Rises,
that's true.
Listen, how are you going to follow a character such as Heath Ledger as the Joker? One of the most beautiful portrayings of a character from a comic book.
Dude.
Wonderful. Like the style, fucking, he would sleep for 2 hours a night to create that character. You know?
In my mind, when I think of the Joker, and I was born in '87, so
you think Jack Nicholson
I watched
before him.
all the old Batman movies with Michael Keaton because Alex West doesn't count. I totally watched those.
Do you mean Adam West?
And I love them. Yeah, Adam West.
Adam West. I was like, who the fuck is Alex West?
Alex.
There was another Batman?
He had a brother. No. But no, in my mind, when I think of the Joker, I don't think of Jack Nicholson. But I have a lot of respect for Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson's a bad motherfucker.
Portraying the Joker, cool. I really loved it. Got to see it in theaters. But in my mind, it's Heath Ledger, man. That's one of my most favorite movie characters. Mm-hmm. You know, when I think about movie characters like Jack Sparrow.
When he burns the pile of money and the dude flips out, he says, all I care about is money. He's like, Gotham deserves a better class criminal, you know, and I'm going to give it to him. Look what a few bullets and a few drums of gas has done already. I've changed history. Yeah. He's like, you want to fucking change your wallet size, bitch? I'm going to change the world. Whether or not it was the right thing to do, you feel for him because you're like, society sucks. People suck. I get why he wants to do this. I totally get it. Sometimes I want to feel like that. I felt like that this weekend. Just, he's relatable. Yeah. You know? He's the villain that you're like, I kind of understand why the fuck he's doing what he's doing. I mean, you threw him over the edge. And I like how he played, Batman against Two-Face.
Yeah.
I think that was
I thought that was really cool. Love
that
that
was
movie.
A great story.
It is my favorite Batman movie.
But that's my point.
Because of
that's my point. You can watch The Dark Knight Rises and be just as satisfied because Tom Hardy played Bane.
I know.
You can watch Bane. Everybody makes fun of his voice. I'm like, dude, that was the nuance of what his Bane was. That voice made him even more of a badass. That he was so they made him so big. I
absolutely love it when he's fighting Batman. And he explains to him, he's like, because he sees him trying to, fight him, stay out of his way, do his thing, and he laughs at him, and he tells him, you only adopt the dark. Like
I was born in it. Yes.
I was born in it.
I have that at the beginning of my very first rap song on my EP.
There you go.
The Liberation. It was. I have Bane at the beginning of it. I love that character, and I love what he stood for. Just like I did Joker, I was like, how did they do that? You know what I mean? They made another great villain that I can get behind. I can't explain it. Tom Hardy has a deep place in my heart, and it's not my ass. Sorry. So it's I don't know, man. When I saw the movie Legend, where he plays the Cray twins. Ronnie and Reggie. Yeah. Holy fucking shit. I was like, this dude's going places. This dude's a fucking hell of an actor. I've seen Tom Hardy movies, but this is something else, I watched a movie where he's in a car for 2 fucking hours talking to himself.
Wow.
That's how much I like Tom Hardy. It's called Locke. It's an English movie. It's a movie from the UK. He did. It's about him having mental problems because of his father, and he cheats on his wife, so he's going to London from England to see the baby. And that he cheated on his wife, and the lady he cheated on her with is having the baby. He's going to see her, and while he's on the phone with her, like, okay, are you in labor? He's doing that conversation. Are you in labor yet? How are you feeling? And then he's trying to talk to his son and wife, who has no clue. And he gets done. He's a leader at a construction site. Very interesting movie. I loved it, and it was about him in his car talking to people and himself for 2 hours. Literally him, like you would think that this was an audition for some kind of movie. Wow. Just 2 hours long. epic because he's a
Goodness.
good actor. He talked to himself 2 hours and he pulled it off. Some may
Wow.
beg to differ. I have a bias.
I've never seen it. I'll have to check it out.
You don't really have to. I mean, I watched it because I like Tom Hardy.
Mm.
But he will show you his acting chops in that movie. He looks in the back seat at one point. He's talking on the phone. You're starting to get the story and like, wow, this is sad. His dad's, the kid's like, when are you coming home, Daddy? Like, I got some things to take care of. He's going to see his other kid that he's about to have with his mistress. And while all this is happening, he starts looking in the back seat and he's like, this is your fucking fault. He starts talking to the back seat. That's kind of like, I'm like, he's such an amazing actor. He's talking to no one, but he's pretending it's his father. I guess his father's dead, maybe, if I remember correctly, and he's like confronting him, but he's not there.
Wow.
It's very psychologically weird. That movie was a great movie.
Actually makes me want to...
No, it was interesting. It was interesting as fuck. I sat through the whole thing. Kylie was like, wow. But I was like, it's fucking Tom Hardy. He's just a really good actor. Legend was wonderful. I like all of his films, really. Legend was good because it had Emily Browning in it, too. I'm a huge Emily Browning fan. She did Sucker Punch and A Series of Unfortunate Events with Jim Carrey. She's a babe, I think.
Total
One of those
babe.
Aussie babes. Yeah, dude, we're reaching about 1:11. This was a hell of an episode. I had a really good time, and I can't wait to do another one. We will do several parts to horror because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
We'll review movies, and we'll see the new Child Play eventually when it comes out, and we'll review that.
Definitely.
But yeah, that was Two Guys, One Podcast.
Yep.
I was Cotter. This is Lau, and we had a blast hanging out with you guys. You guys should come back next week. We love you guys. What's going on, guys? It's Two Guys, One Podcast coming back at you for a second episode, a second podcast. And this week, we wanted to talk about horror films. That's horror, not whores. Horror. We wanted to talk about all kinds of horror films. But first, I wanted to tell everybody a little story about a little boy who was born in 1992, which is 26 years ago, going on 27, close. Almost 30, almost 3 decades, let's say, okay? And in 1996, this young boy found a VHS tape in his parents' closet. I snuck into their room one night. Okay, yeah, the little boy's me. Did I